I've been looking for this. Thanks for keeping an eye on it, Coffee. I'm gonna head out. See ya.
As a psychological dark comedy, The Amazing Digital Circus made a promise to its audience during the pilot episode. The series may not be horrific, but it will make people consider things they never had before. Told through the narrative lens of characters trapped with no way home and slowly losing their sanity, it's only a matter of time before the plot gets dark, as the series' description promises. A few elements of the first episode hinted at the series going in this direction. However, because pilots usually focus on establishing characters and world building, the story succeeded in hooking a loyal audience but downplayed the psychological elements. A slow burn into Pomni's descent into madness, something we caught a glimpse of in the pilot, may help build suspense and emotional investments in the long run. However, the first episode could have changed a few things to make the introduction to the Amazing Digital Circus scarier. In today's video, we're delving into what those adjustments could be.
Maybe he's not in his room? I hope he's alright.
Don't worry, Dollface. I've got a key to his room.
Number 1. Waited for the headset reveal. When Pomni arrives in the digital circus, she doesn't know where she is and expresses concern about a headset. She means a virtual reality headset that takes people into a first-person video game experience. However, the circus must feel incredibly real because Pomni doesn't question if it's a game she's playing and actively tries taking the device off to no avail. Her new companions at the circus explain that they've all tried to do the same, and there's no way for her to return home. Naturally, Pomni doesn't believe the group of strangers and continues searching for an escape, even as the others explain her new circumstances. Once someone puts on a headset like Pomni's, something transports them into the digital circus with no chance of escape. The best they can do is maintain their sanity, even as their appearances change and they forget basic information, like their names. When someone reaches the end of their rope and their mind begins to break, they become abstracted. As an abstraction, they turn into a giant monster with dozens of eyes, capable of doing considerable harm to the circus and everyone that lives in it. One of the secondary characters, Kaufmo, spends their screen time as an abstraction during the pilot. The damage and harm he causes raises the suspense for fans of Pomni, as no one wants to see her hurt when the series has just begun. However, had the series taken a different approach and allowed Pomni to believe she was in a video game the entire time, the narrative would be completely different. Pomni may have been more confident throughout the pilot, interacting with the environment recklessly because she believed it to be a game, until the devastating moment when she meets Kaufmo and he puts her in danger. Pomni could become genuinely scared in those moments, and the scene could shift to her real life, trying and failing to take the headset off before returning to the digital circus. A last-minute revelation like that could be a fantastic plot twist to make an audience's heart drop.
Look at my hand. I didn't know what to do.
It's okay!
Number 2. Established Kaufmo. One of the best parts of the circus so far is the cast of characters who live in it. There's no shortage of unique designs and personalities for each, and they wouldn't thrive as well outside of the Amazing Digital Circus. The pilot does an excellent job of building every character up, indicating what they may be about, and establishing their relationships with Pomni. That is, for every character except Kaufmo. During the circus's opening sequence, a subtitle explains how Kaufmo hadn't shown up, indicating that he is usually present with the other characters. However, no one seems bothered by his absence, likely because many of them, like Zubul and Jax, ditch Kane's daily adventure the first chance they get. It's explained that Kaufmo had experience with the exit doors witnessed by Pomni, so Jax and Ragatha tried to introduce the pair. That's the only introduction we have to Kaufmo's characters before the others find him in his room, already abstracted and ready to cause severe damage. The scene where Kaufmo tosses Ragatha around and chases down Pomni is terrifying, but it could have been so much worse. Had Kaufmo appeared at the beginning of the episode, he would have had a chance to interact with his friends and get to know Pomni. These interactions would put emotional stakes on anything that happened to him, especially if he developed naturally as an intriguing and likable character. He could still know about the exit doors, sympathize with Pomni, and even help her find them. However, as they come up empty in their search, Kaufmo reaches his limit and becomes abstracted before Pomni's eyes, forcing her and the audience to witness his transformation.
I know we didn't always get along, like when you called me out for fake laughing at your jokes.
Number 3. Lingered inside the exit. As Pomni flees from Kaufmo and searches for Kane, she comes across another exit door. Although she is trying to help Ragatha, she takes the door anyway and faces serious karma instead. The door doesn't provide a way into the real world. It is an endless maze of storage rooms, office spaces, and excessively long hallways. There's no telling how long Pomni spends inside this space, as the episode cuts to the other characters as they deal with the Gloinks and Kaufmo. Eventually, Pomni finds a way out, but again, she finds herself away from home. Lost in the same void Kane warned her against when she first arrived at the circus. Kane saves her from the void and returns her to the others, where he admits that the exit doors exist, but they're nothing more than a creative project he abandoned. The other characters don't seem to care about this reveal, even though the exit doors are what pushed Kaufmo into his abstraction. However, their existence impacts Pomni, as she hardly speaks once she returns to the circus, ruminating about how she's truly stuck there. It makes sense that the episode cuts between the two events happening, yet had it placed more emphasis on the exit doors and Pomni's time within them, her inner turmoil and horror would have become better established for the next episode. Watching the same thing over and over could get boring, but it gets interesting when a person becomes stuck in their worst nightmare, slowly losing their grasp on reality at the same time.
Hello? Kane? We have a bit of an issue here!
Number 4, explored the dungeon. Kaufmo causes significant damage when he rampages through the circus tent. He causes bodily harm to Ragatha, chases Pomni, destroys any object in his path, and attacks the Gloink Queen. Even Kane expresses concern regarding the state of the circus tent and the people who live within it. To save everyone, he banishes Kaufmo into a dungeon under the ground, where other abstractions remain in the shadows. The scene implies that there's no way to turn someone back to normal once they become abstracted, and once they turn, they're fated to live in the dark below the circus tent. There's no telling how much of Kaufmo's humanity was left once he got abstracted. After all, he attacked his friends and his home without a second thought, barely batting one of his many eyes when Ragatha called out in pain. If the abstractions are nothing more than someone's insanity manifested into a physical form, exploring their dungeons would be a grueling experience. It's pitch black, unwelcoming, and filled to the brim with creatures who wouldn't care about Pomni's demise.
What form of non-Gloinkinian mass?
Number 5, entering the bedrooms. When Pomni and the others go to find Kaufmo, they walk down a long hallway with various doors. Each door had a face on it, indicating who the room belonged to. There were some familiar faces like Jax and Ragatha, but unrecognizable characters were also present. Unlike the others, their faces got marked out with a red X. Knowing what we do about abstractions, it's likely that these unnamed characters lost their minds, turned, and had their rooms locked away. However, Jax made a point to mention that he had keys for accessing the bedrooms, which is what allowed the group to locate Kaufmo. Kaufmo's room appears desecrated with messages about the exit doors, the very things that pushed him past the brink. Had Jax tried to show off by opening one of the other doors instead of teasing Ragatha about leaving centipedes in hers, the group could have found messages or signs of what drove some of the circus's old residents insane.
Was that an exit door I saw out there? Is that a way to leave?
All signs point to the Amazing Digital Circus making its mark among the darker animated series. It's already amassed a loyal following eager for the next episode as Pomni continues exploring her new environment and tries to find her way home. While the pilot wasn't as scary as it could have been, the elements of a psychological thriller are promising. As the series moves into future episodes, it would find an eager audience waiting to be enthralled, frightened, and fascinated.
You can barely move or anything. Just hang in there. I'll be right back. I promise.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications to stay updated on our uploads.
Of course I do. They're the two most mentally stable and capable characters to be paired together.